Does Puru get his youth back? Many years later, after Yayati is satiated with youthful pleasures, some stories say that he finally realizes that there is no end to the desire for pleasure and becomes mature. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm reading book Devlok Devdutt Patnayak. And yesterday I started reading part 30, Yayati. And today it's the last part and last video of this book. So let's continue. He calls Puru and gives him his youth back. And although Puru is the youngest, he makes him the king. Yeti then retires to the forest. But that time, so many years have passed that Puru is already old. So Puru never experiences youth. This is an ironical story where Yedu, the son who knows and talks about dharma, does not become the king. The youngest, who is an obedient son but who is willing to change the rules of space and time, and dharma becomes the king. Is this Yedu the same one from the Yadav Vansh? Yes. This is the seed of the story of the Mahabharata. From Puru arises the Kuru Vansh, from which come the Kauravas and the Pandavas. Krishna is Yadu's descendant, so he can never become king because his forefather was cursed by Yayati. This is how the Yadav Vansh is always insulted. Why is this story important? The Ramayana has an obedient son, and Puru too is an obedient son. What's the difference? Ram is obedient and dutiful for Ayodhya, for the kingdom. He is following the rules so that people know he keeps his word, as in the custom of Raghukul. He does not do so for his father's pleasure like Puru. What Puru does is not dharma, because merely obeying your father is not dharma. It's all being done so that the king can enjoy the pleasure of youth. No one is even thinking about the kingdom. Only Yadu is saying this, and his descendant is Krishna. Yeti was an exploitative father then. In psychology, it's known as the Yeti complex. Sigmund Freud wrote about the Oedipus complex. Oedipus is a character in Greek mythology who unwittingly kills his father and then marries his mother. The young defeats the old and establishes his authority. Here, the young is more powerful than the old. The Yeti complex is the opposite, where the old exploits the young. It is said that this is the difference between the East and West. In the West, youth is more powerful. In the East, it's opposite. Did Yeti also have a daughter? Yeti's daughter is Madhvi, and the story too is exploitative and depressing. When she is born, astrologers predict that she will have 4 sons who will all become great kings. Yeti worries that these boys will end up warring with each other and it will create a messy situation for his kingdom. Once a rishi comes to him and says that his guru wants 5,000 horses. Yeti says he has only 1,000 horses and offers his daughter. He tells the rishi to marry her off to any king who wants a son and buy 1,000 horses from each as her bride prince. The kings will each get a good son, and since the children will not be in one horse, there will be no war. Basically, Yeti sells off his daughter. She is never asked what she wants. After she gives birth to her 4th son, she takes sannyas. She becomes a great tapasvi. The 4 sons grow up to be great king and come to the forest looking for their mother. When they hear her story, they want to go to war with Yeti. She asks them to forgive him. Meanwhile, Yeti has gone to Swarglok and all his punya or good karma gets used up. He has to come back to earth and wonders how to return to Swarglok. The gods tell him to seek forgiveness from his daughter. Madhvi says she is already forgiven him and asks her son to share some of their punya with their grandfather to send him back to Swarg. When her son asks her how she can be so forgiving after everything her father did to her, she says it's all in the past. What would be the point of my doing tap if I couldn't forgive him? So while the king wronged his daughter, she sent him back to Swarg. This story is not often read or told, and perhaps this is why the Mahabharata too is not read so much, because of all these painful stories that are there in the epic. So this is end of this part and of this book also. I'll start reading another book in my next video. So till then, keep listening beautiful stories and keep smiling.